Hello everyone, my name is SiC and welcome back to Humankind. Rather than any of the open devs, today we are jumping into a 1.0 full release game for the very first time. That means no more pre-designed maps, we're going to jump into a randomly created map. So let's have a look. This is going to do a new game. We want to have a bunch of characters to play against, and we're not going to change too much. Actually, we're just going to go with 6 competitors. There's several sizes of maps. There's a bunch of things that we can change around. We're not going to mess with any of it. We're just going to go with random, basically the most regular default settings that we can play with. Now there's also pace. We have the normal pacing, which means that the game, generally speaking, takes about 300 turns maximum. There's also Blitz, 75 turns, which is crazy. Fast-paced game, 150 turns, also pretty crazy. Then there's Slow, with 450 turns maximum. And then there's the Endless mode, which is basically double of normal, which is kind of crazy as well. 600 turns. There's also End Conditions, Last Human Standing, Time Limit, Space Race. We're just going to go with default and normal speed, see how things have changed. As for difficulty, we are going to be playing on a nation difficulty, which is comparable to governing a lively nation, apparently. A hard job even for up and coming autocrats. So this is like normal difficulty, but I want to go up a little bit. We're not going to go into peaceful mode. Basically, we're just going to go into, like I said, the most default settings possible. Now there's add-ons. We have pre-order and deluxe add-ons, I guess. So this is basically open for DLC and other things, I guess, and for modding too, I suppose. Anyway, let's jump in and see what we end up with.
Our universe contains infinite stories, most of which are about rocks and ice at sub-zero temperatures in a vacuum. Rather boring. However, on a small damp rock, there is a story that bears a second look. It's your story. But the first 4 billion years or so mostly concern amino acids. Not much of a page turner. But then, over time, the amino acids bond together, and things start to get interesting and a bit drier. A certain subspecies of hominid discovers that you can do more with a sharp rock than annoy your little brother. Tools and weapons are invented. The hominids begin to cooperate. Fire becomes a servant rather than an unpredictable force of nature. They learn to tan the skins of animals for clothing. They learn ways to record and probably exaggerate their adventures. Eventually, these tribes learn to build shelters and immediately hold the first barbecue parties. This is the dawn of humankind. Struggle and cooperation have been rewarded. The Neolithic era draws to a close. The whole world beckons. This tribe has come far, but the rest of their story is your story. You are the one who will build them into a great civilization. How far will you push humankind?
That is
another day, another dawn of humankind. It is time to finish breakfast, give a rousing speech, and leap into the future.
Now that is a cool intro. These cutscenes are new. I think there's a couple of them probably, but this really builds up and sets you up for this point where you start with your first little tribe, actually, which is really cool. I really do like that a lot. Anyway, we have our first hunting party, and now it's time to start exploring. Not much here has changed, so just gotta get started, I guess. The first thing I do want to do is I want to turn on the tile output so we can see what is going on. We have horses over here, so for sure this is a territory that we are going to want to claim. We got some more science over here from the cave in the forest. And then it seems there's a hill up here. Another territory over to the left, basically nothing but ice. Not the most interesting of territories, because as you can see, it doesn't have any output except for this one tundra tile over here, or dry grass tile, I guess it says, but not the best. But it does have an unknown strategic resource, so at some point we're probably still going to want to claim this. Anyway, let's send these guys on their way. Alright, so we do have a way up over here, and that took all of their movement. Alright, another territory over to the right, lots of water. This might bode well for a naval start, and we have our first discovery. Now that's probably going to give us some influence.
Nothing else. You could learn what killed them.
Alright, +1 science, +5 influence. Now that is good, because that will give us the ability to claim our first territory, and this is the recommended tile, so I guess that is the best possible outcome as far as the game is concerned. I'm not sure I agree. I think I would prefer to settle over here with a little less food but more production, so we're just going to go ahead and settle that there, claim this territory. Meanwhile, another empire has found the wonderful Gunung Mulu, which gives them 50 fame, so they're already ahead of us just a little bit, but we cannot see where everyone is at right now. Alright, going to push them over. That's going to create the first and also take first outpost, and also going to take away all of their movement points. Now I see another discovery. Discoveries are quite nice because they give you the culture, and that is a very nice boost to make sure that we can claim territories quickly. So that's definitely going to be a priority. Meanwhile, the Fungal Hoarder. There's a couple of new of these narrative events in the game, which is kind of cool. So let's see. The shift to fix the boats hadn't been easy for the tribesmen and women who'd settled in the outpost, but they'd persevered and now thought of the land as home. When they discovered that one of the number had been hoarding mushrooms that he'd found in a nearby cavern for himself, it was a great blow to the spirit of the tribe. Now they want to banish him for his greed, but that would mean being deprived of the location of the mushroom field. What is your reckoning? We can banish him, and we would have minus 25% on city defense research cost. Yeah, would lead to quicker walls. It's okay. We could protect him. The tribesman made a mistake, but he'll learn, and the extra food will be welcome, which means we will have bountiful on Alferg for 10 turns, +5 food. Or we can retain him. The man will leave the settlement, but will remain of the tribe. His days will be dedicated to learning more about this strange species, and that will give us +2 science. Now, I'm leaning towards that. Science is good. So, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm sticking with. Here we go. What is this? This is mercury. Alright. We found another curiosity. Knowledge star. That already we're at 8 out of 10, and that's a bit strange. Let's see. Discovery curiosities to accrue 10 science. Oh, that's changed. I thought we needed to find 10 of these, but actually it's just to accrue 10 science. So basically 5 of these will be enough. The same as 5 hunting stars. So far I haven't seen any animals to hunt, however. And grow star, growing a little bit, and that would be good as well. Now let's see, we need 20 influence for the next outpost. This is not the outpost we're going to claim next. I think we're going to go with more fertile ground. But this is definitely a territory we are going to want to annex, just for the fact that we get mercury, an unknown strategic resource, and another unknown strategic resource. Might be copper, might be metal, who really knows? But it's definitely something we are going to want. Alright, wow. The nomadic tribe reached the ancient era of the Mycenaeans. That is super fast.
Full bellies and healthy children. I see where this is going.
Alright, 15 food. Now we just need 5 more.
A first outpost means a first step into a new territory. And a new extension of your empire's power.
Oh,
also,
no.
a new vulnerability.
We are not winning that. We are going to move around that mammoth. Good thing that these guys don't seem to be aggressive. Yeah. Meanwhile, violent pursuits. The last winter was especially harsh, the ground hard and the frost chilling to the bone. In the heart of the settlement, the tribe huddled closer to share warmth through the coldest days, but for some it wasn't enough. Some needed to get their blood flowing, and they found a means through violent games. Grappling, fighting, contests of strength and endurance. One contest, where opponents fight with hidebound fists, has gained quite a following, to the point that the outpost's usual foraging missions are under threat. What is your say on this new pursuit? Alright, so we can encourage this, and we will produce -5 food on Alfurg, which is quite significant. But on the nomadic tribes, we will gain +2 combat strength on our units. And that's kind of cool, that's kind of good. On the other hand, we can forbid it. We will get bountiful with +5 food, basically, yeah, it's pretty good. Or we can codify. We should allow these contests, but only at decreed times of the year. And then we get -25% on domestication research cost. Now that will allow us to make use of the horses. So I'm actually going to go with codify in this case, so that we can hurry that up a little bit. Alright, we have gained 1 population in Alfurg. Oh, come on, really? Oh, we can go over here, we can gain another one, that's fine. +1 science, +5 influence. Alright, we're going to move back over in this direction, because we do need that other one, apparently. And we really need to find some food. The food situation is kind of grim. Alright, we do get the knowledge star. +2 science, +5 influence. Now we have 20, and that is enough to claim another territory. We also find some more food over here, which is even better, because that means we will get a second unit and we can really speed up our exploration. Now, I haven't seen any special resources over here, but it is pretty good for production, I think. Ooh, look at that. That is decent. That is quite good. We're going to go with that later, though. For now, we have a tribe's legacy. You stand at a crossroads. For many moons, and this is because we got to the knowledge star. The knowledge star actually allows you to give a special cultural trait to your tribe. Just do in the same way that you do when you pick different cultures once we move on to the next age. So it's quite important actually to get the knowledge stars. You stand at a crossroads. For many moons the tribe has tracked the wilderness, slowly, tortuously, learning the secrets of this world, how the materials hidden in the deep places and in plain sight might be fashioned to the tribe's advantage, how the beasts and plants of the lands and seas can be most fruitfully harvested, and how myths and stories can glacially but inescapably give power over our greatest enemies, other tribes. Now you must decide in what domain the tribe will truly sharpen its knowledge for the ages to come. Will you be renowned as makers, farmers, or charmers? Right, so we can get makers, which will add a wattle and daub legacy trait, and that basically gives us +1 industry per population on a city or outpost. And that's quite nice. Otherwise, we could go with farmers. We will study the land and all its riches, and we will never lack for sustenance. Basically, that will add +1 food per population. So that's the food equivalent of wattle and daub. And then we have storytellers. We will create myths that spread our renown, our beliefs well beyond our lands. Astronomy, +1 science per population on city or outpost. Now for now, we don't have much in terms of production over here. I think we're going to go with makers. And that will allow us to go more quickly to other things. Actually, it seems we only need one of these things over here. And I don't think we're going to grow super quickly, but let's remind me later. I want to grow a little bit. There's only one tribe that has advanced, and at least once we move to the next era, we can no longer get food from this and grow our armies in this way, and that is a little bit tricky. So we are going to split up this group. These guys are going to move over here and claim that territory. Meanwhile, these guys are going to have to move over here and start exploring that direction. Now, of course, if we had two of these guys together, we could take on a mammoth, but I'm not going to go with that for now. Though it would help if the hunter stars and population growth, I suppose, but no. Just want to explore a little bit more. Alright, so we have arrived, and again, there's not much of interest over here. We do get the Terra Rossa Prairie over here. +3 food, +2 science, that is pretty nice. Alright, we got some more of that, and let's see, there was a really good one over here. 15-13, I think that's the one to go for. We got a lake over here, that's pretty cool. Defensive barrier over to the west and the defensive barrier over to the east. So that should be a pretty defensible spot. Let's see, mortuary, anyone? Disposal of the dead is a greater concern now that roots have been made and your outpost population is growing. In fact, a delay in performing last rites on some recent dead has attracted wolves, threatening the balance of the departing spirits and jeopardizing their path to the other world. The protection of the tribe is at stake. Do you embrace new ways of administering last rites or stick with the old customs? What should be done? Now we can cremate these people, the dead, and that will give us +1 combat strength on 2 targets for 10 turns. So this is a temporary one. It's not really that great. We could embalm. Cleansing the bodies will ensure no animals seek the dead and agitate the spirits and help us learn about our mortal vessels, and that will provide science. Otherwise, we could leave. Tradition dictates the dead be left to the wilds. Maybe the wolves can be tamed to protect the bodies, and then we could get -25% domestication research cost. Now, we already did this. I don't think it's going to be super beneficial to do it again. We're going to go with embalm for the flat science boost. Right, and meanwhile we get a Navi, our second outpost. Now these outposts are actually not split up, they are adjacent to each other, so that's kind of cool. We can grab this and then we'll move over towards this direction. 10, alright, we can grab this and that's probably going to spawn another group. No, that was just 5 food. Alright, let's do a manual battle. This guy is not going to run away, and we're going to end the deployment right here. Going the attack, we have protection, we have the high ground. He's probably going to come up here and attack us from the side, yeah. And this just protects us against ranged attacks, so that wasn't really super helpful to us, but yeah. Alright, decent. He's going to probably kill himself in attacking us. Yes, there we go. That's going to give us some food and actually another tribe. Now these guys are out of momentum. I cannot walk any further. And okay, it seems we cannot transfer them out. Sometimes I think that works under certain circumstances. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, in this case, it's not helping us. Alright, freshwater harvest, +15 food. Nice. Curiosity collected. That was the question. Do we want to advance right now? Because we have 3 army units. It's not a lot. There's science over here. No, let's give it 1 more turn. Because unless there's someone we want. Actually, with the Mycenaeans, Hittites and Harappans have already been taken. Right, so maybe we should pick one of these now, just to make sure we get something we want. Now, usually I go pretty heavy on science, because I think that's pretty good. I don't have anyone to fight right now. And I don't think, well, Raid Masters is actually kind of nice. Extra land movement speed on units, helps with scouting, so that's good. +5 combat strength bonus when ransacking an army, that will help us to allow, us to keep other empires small for a while as we ransack their outposts. We could build a Dunu for +2 influence, +10 district fortification, and +1 combat strength in combat for units in or adjacent to the district. And we would get Assyrian raiders. Now we do need a horse for that, but we have horses in our territory, so maybe not the worst of choices. It helps us scout, it helps us keep other people small, and they're already expanding faster than us, so once we find them, that will actually be okay. Meanwhile, the Babylonians also quite good, +2 science per research technologies on capital, though that's probably going to help us more in the short term than the long term. The astronomy house is quite nice as well, +3 science per adjacent farmers quarter, and I think we're going to need a couple of farmers quarters. So surrounding an astronomy house by those guys would be quite kind of good. But we need bronze working, and we don't have bronze. Egyptians, +1 industry on tile producing industry. That could be good, though we don't have that many of them at the moment. Egyptian pyramids, +1 influence, +3 industry. Influence is also important, so getting a bonus to that would be good. +3 industry per adjacent makers quarter, so that's also nice if we can combine that well. And I get Markabatas, which is a unique unit requiring horses and the wheel technology. Nubians, good for money if we have luxury resource deposits, but we don't have any of those close by at the moment. Merowe pyramids, actually kind of nice with the industry and money bonus. And the Tasseti archers don't need any special resources. And they can shoot at a target without having a clear line of sight to it, and that's kind of cool. Olmecs, +1 influence on territory. Olmec head, +1 influence, +3 food. +1 influence per adjacent farmers quarters. Now that would actually help us claim more territory more quickly. And that's good, actually. And javelin throwers, stronger on forest tiles. Phoenicians, though, +2 money per traders on city or outpost. Havens, +2 money per adjacent coastal water, +2 money per adjacent lake, +1 trader slot on city or outpost, replaces a harbor, counts as farmer quarter and market quarters, and we could build a byreme. And that would help us explore the waters a little bit better. Or finally, we have choice over the Zhao, +2 stability on districts, which is kind of nice to keep our stability on cities quite high. +8 stability for the Confucian school, +1 science, +5 science per adjacent mountain, and +1 researcher slot on city or outpost, and they can build the Sanche, requiring horses and copper. But it requires adjacent mountains. Now we have mountains over here. We could build a research quarter over here. This is a mountain. We could build a research quarter over here. It's not the worst choice, but probably not the best, looking at our environment. So maybe let's go with something aggressive and do the Assyrians.
Ah, the challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel and you don't. Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish. Tribes settle towns. Towns develop markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and most important, rumors and hearsay.
Now this has quickly turned into a meme.
So
See
now,
that picture?
we advance as the warlike Assyrians. You're not going to be a very nice neighbor, are you?
Probably not. Let's see, as the Assyrians, you've reached the ancient era. Cities can now be created by selecting one of your outposts and evolving it into a city. Alright, cool. With that out of the way, let's go to Alferg and evolve it into a city. We have Assur over here. Now we can start with a Dunu. +2 influence, +10 district fortification, plus strength. We can build it pretty much anywhere we want. And that's pretty good if we had a choke point nearby that I immediately want to take advantage of. But let's start with a farmer's quarter. Reason being, we are only making 1 food right now, and it will take 31 turns for another population to spawn. Now after that, probably we're going pottery workshop, though of course maker's quarters are also kind of nice. But the +4 influence on the main plaza is actually quite quite nice and important for us to claim more territories. But like I said, we need population as well. Actually, maybe put this over here, and then this is going to take a little bit too much. So one guy on industry, and we're going to build a farmer's quarter, and we're going to build it right here, I think, so we can expand to the left afterwards. Meanwhile, we need to continue exploring. We need to find interesting territories for us to claim. Alright, we have Navi over here. More coast and a unique resource. Alright, so that is a good place to settle. And now I kind of wish we turned this into a city. Don't know. We could buy that with influence. Interesting. Because this territory is quite strong. You know, we could attach it. I don't know how much that costs. 30 influence. Alright, yeah, that might be worth considering. It's quite nice. But yeah, oh, now we have the 5 movement range, which is really nice. Now let's start off with domestication. Will immediately lead to Assyrian raiders. It will lead to animal barns, +5 food for horses, or per horse. So that's nice, and it will allow us to use the horse that we have in our territory. It's also recommended and very quick to research because of our earlier choices. So that works out nicely. Alright, let's continue our search. And I think we've seen everything that we need to see over in this direction. I think actually now it's the time to start moving towards here. Meanwhile, this group can continue over in this direction. Ooh, and we find a curiosity. Now it provides us +40 influence. Look at that, that's massive. And +15 science, immediately finishing off domestication. That's really good. Really good. And again, here's no place with good production and good food. We could turn this into an outpost and attach it to our main city. I think that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to turn this into a city and attach some other outposts to it, I think. Now, as for research, I think, let's have a look. I don't know what this is going to be yet. So there's 3 choices that we could entertain. We could do city defense. Maybe not of the highest priority. Calendar could be good, because then we could take advantage of Mercury, probably. +4 stability, +2% science per Mercury. Wondrous effects. Actually, yeah, let's go with Carpentry, I guess. What does it lead to, anyway? Fishing. Harbor, fishery, masonry. Yeah, that works for me. That's a decent choice. Those things lead to good food and production bonuses later on. Alright, another nomadic tribe went with the Nubians. We are actually in 2nd place right now. And these guys know where to go, so we just... Alright, and I think this is the final one. Another nomadic tribe has reached the ancient era with the Babylonians. Alright. Got some population growth and Navi. These guys know where they want to go. We got Belenos, alright. Cultural conversion started. Huh. Oh, look at that. There is another empire very close by. And these guys are out of movement points. I am going to send these 2 guys over here, because if that's an outpost, and it certainly does look like it, because it's actually, yeah, this is an outpost, because you can see by the border. This is an outpost, that's an outpost. They have a checkered border. This is a complete border, and that belongs to our city. So, yeah, that works for me.
Follow me.
Right, we're going to have to go through here to get down to the sanctuary. We can ransack that for some money. Alright, these guys are definitely have to go over here.
The agrarian Harapans. You're as likely to meet their canals and farmers as their soldiers.
Alright, they're taking out a sanctuary over here in about one turn. Now let's go over here and grab that curiosity. You found a curiosity. Volunteers, providing new army warriors next to your hunting party. Ooh, that is good. Immediately get a warrior over here. That's great. And we have another territory belonging to an opponent over to the left. And this one is actually a city. Alright. Good to know.
It is not just a bunch of buildings. It is warmth, protection, and, praise the gods, a bit of privacy.
Alright, we have a new grievance available
Bloody
to us.
smelly, aren't they? History may be changed by battles, but that doesn't mean they're enjoyable.
Oh, we're being attacked.
I must ruminate.
Right, we're going to demand that, for sure. Now this is probably not the wisest of choices for them. They attacked us though, and we're going to take advantage of that. Probably one of us needs to start over on this tile. They're going to attack us from up here. They're going to have the first move, which is nice for them. Yeah. So these guys are going to have to move over here. And that puts us on equal grounds, but this is not great. We're going to have to go on the defense. Oh, that's quite heavy. We're going on the defense as well. That means they're going to go on the attack. That only hurt them very little. They have runners. Oh, this is their unique unit. Yeah. Look at that. Decent, I guess. There's nowhere we can really run to and be on equal ground, except if we pull all the way back over here, and he would have to come after us. So let's go on the defense, let them... Yeah, no, that's not working out, is it?
Come over here.
You know what, let's defend. They're probably going to attack us. That's the end of this battle round, actually. Yeah, alright. That's going to have to do. These guys are definitely going to join up. That's the end of their movement. Then they're going to move over into these territories and see what they can do for us. Meanwhile, Assur has finished building its farmer's quarter. And I think this would be a good time to build a pottery workshop. Or do a horse ranch, actually. Let's do the horse ranch first, because we're doing okay. On the next turn, we can add Belenos to Assur. For 30 influence. And that's going to give them extra food, extra production. That's going to speed things up quite nicely, I think. Or it should, anyway. Yeah, let's continue up along this river.
And now you've met the Mycenaeans. Let's hope relations go well. Their forts are rather formidable.
New grievance available.
This is where I greet you.
They-
Impress upon you the wonder of my people? So be it. We will meet your demands.
Oh, they yielded. I didn't expect them to do it, but that's nice. Anyway, we have to fight. And we're going to end our deployment right here. They've got the high ground, and they are attacking into the low ground, and we're on a river. All of that is pretty terrible. But we can move over here and be on the defensive, and then when they attack us, they're going to be in a pretty bad position. Since they're the aggressors, they're going to have to come to us. So, there we go. That's the one benefit of being attacked, actually. These guys will have to come to you. If we are the attackers, they can elect to stay on the defensive, and they often do. Right, we're still better off here right now. Ooh, these guys are over here now. Ooh, that's good for us.
No fear!
I don't know why or how they changed position in this way, but... Oh, this would kill them, huh? Now we're going to go on the defensive. Huh? Wait, how? How did he run through here and attack from the high ground? That is weird. We did win, but at the cost of one of our units. I don't like that.
Yes, Commander.
And these guys are going to go heal up for a bit. Huh. That is a bit weird. They're hesitant. As for treaties, we can propose trading.
We all benefit from growing closer, don't you think?
We propose a treaty to them. The archetype is vindictive and we made demands on them, so they already like us a bit less.
Wave of good cheer.
A wave of good cheer, sure. Alright, let's end this turn. We're going to go to turn 25 and then this episode has gone on long enough, I think. Alright, these guys are just going to continue healing, and actually they should probably move on to the high ground to do it.
Yes, Commander.
And those guys... Oh, look at that.
No.
Oh, there's a unit here.
Charge.
Yeah, we're definitely going to fight these guys. These are my scouts. Yeah, I don't want my scouts to be front and center there. That's better. They're trying to take this territory. We are going to have to stop that. Maybe if we stay on the defensive, that will be good. And these guys will stay on the defensive in the back. I don't want to be caught out on the river where we will take a ton of damage. We are on the river here as well, but we're in a pretty good defensive position. Actually, we can attack now and finish these guys off. And I think we're just going to go for it for the sake of expediency. And that was a pretty decent attack for us. There we go. Alright, we're definitely going to take out that outpost. Keep these guys small. Or as small as we can actually keep them. Alright, Asur is finished. We have access to the horses. That's good. The Mycenaeans like us a bit less, but that was to be expected. Let us go with Pottery Workshop right now. It only takes 2 turns and it will provide us the extra influence bonuses that we need. Meanwhile, these guys... Yeah, they definitely need to stay and heal up a little bit longer. Unfortunately, I wish we could move on and attack these guys. Right, Artisan's Quarter and Granary. Great. And what's going on? The Mycenaeans. They want a non-aggression pact. Offer to accept the other empires per position in exchange for 15 gold. And then any aggressive actions between us are strictly forbidden. I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to refuse.
There's just no way to make it.
Because I want to take out that outpost. I want to keep these guys small. I'm going to need another 2 turns to do it. Alright, then I think we're going to go with Carpentry. We have some forested areas over here. And if we go ahead and research Carpentry, we can then do Lumberyard, which will provide +1 industry in forest and woodland. That might help us out a little bit in terms of production as well. Alright. Now these guys are almost fully healed. It would take 1 more turn. But we can move around the back here, actually. This is a city, isn't it? It doesn't look like a city. It looks like an outpost, but their border is solid, so maybe they combine these territories. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to ransack that. Already, I'm not making friends with my neighbors, but oh well. Anyway, let's actually, this is turn 26, let's finish off this turn. We need to make a choice for Asur. And I think in this case we might want to go with a Maker's Quarter. Now there is a +5 bonus that we can get over here, alternatively. Farmer's Quarter. Yeah, okay, that's not the way to go. I think we're going to go with a Maker's Quarter. Extra production is good. As for Empire Foundations, Founding Mist or Legitimacy, one of these is going to help us out as well. Now we can do Divine Mandate, and that will give us +3 faith on territory. And this might help kick our faith into overdrive. Or we can do +5 influence on the main plaza. Now the main influence, or the influence is quite nice, but I think at this point we will be focused a bit more on fighting rather than expanding by ourselves. This might actually
It seems so.
help us out a
If the
little
gods
bit.
hadn't chosen us, somebody else would be standing here.
As for Legitimacy, -50% on create outpost cost. That could actually offset the other choice that we made. We can also do -20% on attach outpost cost or -20% on absorb city cost. I think we're going to go with customary laws so that we can expand a little bit more quicker. And also that fits into our earlier choices where we
That
will be able to
seems
move
to leave
more
a
quickly.
lot of interpretation of right and wrong, not to mention yours and mine.
Right, our side is a little bit weaker overall, but we will manually fight this. And we will deploy right there. We are in a pretty decent spot there, I think. We are defending, we get increased combat strength. Ooh. These guys are actually pretty good. No, we're going to have to defend. Maybe this was not the best of choices. Okay, now they move on to our flag. Yeah, we're going to lose this, huh? I will stay on the defensive because that is this is the best option for us in terms of combat strength. But I'm not happy with that. That did not lose us our unit actually. It's just heavily wounded over there. We can retreat him, but that's going to be for another episode. Thank you guys so much. Ooh, okay, that's not good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.